All right, guys, today we are going to be covering one of my workouts that I'm going to do for today. We're going to focus on full lower body. We're going to focus, main focus is quads, and then it's going to be posterior chain. So I went heavier on the beginning of the week, consisting of posterior chain. Today is going to be a little bit more of accessory work, B-stance deadlift, and using a slider on the reverse lunges. So that makes it a little bit more like a Bulgarian split squat, except my back leg is not going to be elevated. It'll just be sliding on the slider, and is going to keep pressure on that slider and the turf. So that way we put more load on that front foot, continuous pressure on that front heel. So feel free to copy it, use it according to what you're trying to do. So if you are trying to get stronger, so keep the rep ranges lower. If you want to do intermediate, more hypertrophy, keep anywhere between 8 to 12 reps. If you want to focus a little bit more on endurance, then you increase the reps. All right, let's go. So guys, today we are going to be working on squats. More beyond just the quad, on grip strength, on upper body strength, as in terms of farmer's carry, the grip, shoulders, posture, core. But I will start off on squat just to warm up. So normally I warm up with some dynamic stretching, so that way I'm not doing any type of static stretching. Any type of static stretching prior to any type of strength training or performance training is not good for you. It will cause micro tears on your muscles, and it'll also take out some of that elasticity, which is what we want when we're doing any type of performance or any type of strength. So making sure that you're doing some dynamic type of warm-up. Two different movements that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just work on air squats, taking it all the way down in there, getting that full range of motion. Full range of motion. Little ATG action here. Get a little bit of rotation of my thoracic spine. And I'll go ahead and do two things. Then I'll do two things by placing this band right around my toe box. I will work on band laterals. I can work on my abductors and work on my glutes a little bit, as well as work on my hip flexors while I'm gonna be doing some squats. So I'll just stay in place. Do about 15 of them each side. Making sure that I'm leading with the heel versus with the toe. Because if you start doing I'll give you the side view. You start doing the band laterals and leading a little bit more with the toe, what's gonna happen is you're gonna target a little bit more on the hip flexor, and I want to strengthen and target more on my posterior glutes, abductors, and now we'll work a little bit more on hip flexors. Do about 10 on each side. Now I'll get underneath this bar and just give a couple squats just with the bar itself. Do about 10 of them. Then I'll do one more round on my band laterals. Go about 10 on each side, and then back to the hip flexors to warm those up. Just basically activating the glutes a little bit, my adductors and my hip flexors. So I'll do 10 each side. And you could do them doing laps, or you could take it stationed in place. It's up to you. Just for recording's sake, I want to just do it in place. Preferably, I like to take laps, so I'd rather just go down and back without dragging the foot. And that's how you know when you're taking steps, you're being a lot more precise, a lot more controlled versus dragging that foot where you're resisting the band, all right? So at that point, you're defeating the purpose. So those are just, some pointers there We'll go 5 each side. Nice little pause at the top. Good, and then I'm back to the barbell. Do 5 more squats, and then I'll warm up my lower back with the same barbell. So I'll take it all the way down for 5, making sure that my heels are not coming up off the ground. And now I'm gonna go into a good morning, into a squat. Good morning and back up. Good morning, squat down, come up. So it's a combo. That way I'm targeting my lower back. All right, so we're ready. All right, keep in mind when you're going heavy, whether it's deadlift or when you're doing squats, you wanna just make sure that you're engaging the glutes. I'll take my shoes off and I'll place a band around my toe box. So what this is gonna do is, if you're having a hard time feeling the movement, I'm gonna put this band around my toe box. So by me doing this, this is forcing me to make sure that my feet stay intact, stay in place, and it's continuously making me focus on my glutes, all right? So if I don't have that, it's kind of like it doesn't make that neuromuscular connection, so we wanna just make sure we start off with the band, so that way send that signal to your brain of what needs to keep happening, right? So that means the focus needs to be on that screw motion onto the ground and your feet grip down to the ground. So I'll do a squat with this band around my feet. And you can try that out, so that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about, where you'll definitely be able to tell the difference, all right? So the focus is keeping grip onto the ground, keeping the glutes engaged. So every movement has to be precise, right? So, because otherwise when you start going heavier and the focus is not where it needs to be, that's where the tweaks come into play. You can definitely feel the difference. I will speed it up on some of these reps, so that way you're not just watching me doing all these, continuous reps. I'll do a whole combo of squats and then going off to these farmer's carries. I'll put my shoes back on. So what's the goal here? The whole goal? Shoulders pull back, grip nice and strong, core engaged, so that way when you're walking with these, you're not walking all over the place, okay? Core engaged, shoulders pulled back, retract it, nice and strong, grip, nice and strong, okay? Nice hard grip. Anytime that you focus on that grip, it's gonna lock in and keep the shoulder in place, all right? When you relax the grip, there's no way that you can really engage your shoulder. You have to grip down so that way you can engage your whole shoulder, rotator cuff, and making sure you engage your lats as well. So today's focus, not only am I doing quads, also focusing on posterior chain, but because there's 2 movements, I try to focus on one of them being the major mover, the most focus, then the secondary, do a little bit, treat it more as an accessory, right? So for a secondary movement, well, what I'm gonna be doing is be grabbing these kettlebells here. I will have this slider, kind of like a reverse lunge, but I'm gonna keep constant tension on that slider, so that way when I come up, I'm using full posterior chain versus quad, all right? So because you're creating constant pressure on that back foot, you're forced to drive into the ground, and it's not like a lunge and focusing more quad, right? Reverse lunges is a little bit more of a corrective exercise and it's focusing on quad, but with the slider, it kind of changes the whole dynamic because you have to kind of like drag your foot back forward and it's focusing a little bit more on posterior chain. The other thing that I will do with these both kettlebells, I will focus on posterior chain via B stands deadlift. All right, so I'll grab both of these kettlebells and I'll rock out 10 of them on each side. Tap the ground every single time. Woo! Good stuff. Go on this other side. So you want to make sure you focus on your breathing. So on the eccentric movement, going down, you want to take inhale. And on the concentric or going up, you want to exhale. All right, so inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Every movement. Inhale, exhale. Instead of holding your breath. So once you start getting your breathing down pat, that also starts helping to last longer, to be stronger, and you're not fatiguing as much. So I'll go into B stands deadlift now. So as you're picking up is usually where you can tweak yourself. Get perfectly ready to do the lift. So I'm not putting the band around my feet right now. However, before I pick up, I'm fully engaged, all right? So I'm really focused on my quads, on my glutes. I'm driving straight into the ground, kind of getting that screw motion, come up, all right? From here, then I get into position. So I do my RDL here, 10 each side. All right, so I just added some weight. I won't put the band around my feet. It does make it a lot harder. You will be able to tell the difference whenever you do it. But it helps with keeping the focus where the focus should be and making sure you're having that sensation of that screwing into the ground and gripping into the ground with your feet, with your toes. So that way you're able to engage your glutes a lot more, okay? So when you're squatting down, you're making sure that you are engaging your lats, okay? You need to engage your lats, don't relax them. Otherwise, it's just sitting down there and your shoulders kind of like just have the weight just sitting on it. I want you to just engage your lats. Focus on the breathing. All right, so rest about good 30, 45 seconds. So this is actually one of my workouts. So I'm not just putting something just together, just to give out. This is actually what I do. I just follow the program that's already in here in the gym. We hit each muscle group 2 times per week in order to be able to increase hypertrophy, increase strength, and then based on each individual's goals, you could add more conditioning or less based on the preference or the goals that each person is trying to reach. So I'll go ahead and move this camera a little bit closer so we can get a view of what is happening over here. And you can follow along as well. The reason I prefer to do both post and quads, posterior chain or quads, because I can get that rest period in between the days and I give enough recovery so that way I can do it all over again. So usually when I do quads one day, some type of upper body, then I go posterior, I'm already sore. So I like to kind of like spread it all the way out. Give myself at least 2 days in between or 3 days so that way I can really focus on it all over again and really stimulate it versus annihilate the muscle. I did forget to do the farmer's carry. So we have squats, back squats, farmer's carry. Then we have the reverse lunges with the slider, 2 kettlebells, and then B-stands deadlift. I'm doing all of those for 10. Pick your weight, whatever you can do, and execute anywhere between 3 to 4 rounds, and then some core work. And all we really need to do is two to three rounds of some core work. What that's going to consist of is going to be knee raises, leg raises, back to back, either 10s to 12s, depending on how I feel. If you cannot hold yourself up on the suspended knee lifts or the leg raises, then you could use something like the loops that support, so that way you can hang on the on a bar wherever you're having them looped to, and that way it'll assist you on doing the knee raises and the leg raises.